This week, I taught my regular VIPKid classes and I finished my first classes on Outschool. In this video, I'm going to compare the two. I'm going to break down how many classes I taught at each company, how many students I taught at each company, and how much money I made at each company. You might be surprised to hear which company paid me more. Keep watching and I'll give you the scoop. Everyone, it's Julie Lawrence from TeacherJulieOnline.com, and on this channel you will see videos about online teaching, specifically with companies like VIPKid and Outschool. I share my experiences and offer tips and tricks to make you be a better online teacher. Or if you're thinking about getting started as a teacher online, I coach referrals through the process. In this video, I'm going to talk about my past week of teaching for two companies. The companies that I teach for right now are VIPKid, and I just started teaching at Outschool. So I'm going to give my thoughts and compare the two companies in a few different areas. So first, let's start with VIPKid. This week for VIPKid, I taught 15 classes. Now that's a little bit low for me. I usually teach about 25 to 30 classes in a week, but this week has been a little crazy. There's a lot going on still with finishing up distance learning for my own kids, and also starting this new Outschool venture has taken a lot of my time. So I decided to lower it a little bit on the classes with VIPKid. So VIPKid this week, 15 classes taught. Outschool this week, I taught 7 classes. Now I actually only have 4 classes with learners enrolled right now, but a couple of those classes are multi-day, which means that 2 of my classes meet over 2 days, so during the week, like on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and one of those classes has 4 meetings over 2 weeks, so Tuesday, Thursday, and then Tuesday, Thursday. So this week, here's how it broke down. On Monday, I had 2 different classes. On Tuesday, I had 2 different classes. On Wednesday, I had 2 different classes. And on Thursday, I had 1 class. So this week, for Outschool, 7 classes. How many students did I teach this week? For VIPKid, since I taught 15 classes, I taught 15 students. Remember, VIPKid is 1-to-1. So 15 classes, 15 students. How many students did I have in Outschool? In Outschool this week, I taught 15 students. So let me break it down again by my classes. So in one of my classes, I have 7 learners enrolled. In another class, I had 4 learners enrolled. In a different class, I had 4 learners enrolled. And in one of my classes, I have 1 learner enrolled. So that class actually is one-on-one, and that's my class that meets 4 times. So I'm basically doing a tutoring session with this student. So now let's talk about the pay. What did I make this week with VIPKid? At VIPKid, I make $10.50 per class. I taught 15 classes, and one of those was a short notice class, so I got a $2 incentive for that class. So with 15 classes times $10.50 plus $2, that total comes to $159.50. Let's talk about what I made with Outschool. Outschool's pay is pretty cool because you get to pick how much you want to be paid. So let's do a little math. Remember, I had 4 classes. So my first class I offered for $12 per student, and I have 7 students that took that class. 12 times 7 equals $84. My second class, I also charged $12 per student, and I had 4 students come, and so I made $48 for that class. These 2 classes were both multi-day classes, so they met 2 times during the week. Outschool wants you to generally stay around $12 per hour, so since these were 2 30-minute classes, I charged $12, so $6 a class. My third class, I did charge $6. It was a 30-minute one-time class. I had 4 students come, so I made $24 for that class. My last class, the one that I just have 1 learner enrolled, for that class I charged $24. Because I've only done the first half of that class with her, I'm going to call that $12 times 1 student equals $12. When we add all of this up, you get $168. Outschool takes a 30% fee from that, and so my total with Outschool for this week is $117.60. Keep in mind that with both of these companies, I will have to pay taxes on these amounts. So this is not my final amount, but this is what I will bring home in my paycheck from these companies. So now let's talk about hours worked. The hours I worked at VIPKid are 7.5 from this past week. I taught 15 classes. They are 25 minutes each with a 5-minute break in there, and so I counted as 30 minutes. And so 15 divided by 30 minutes equals 7.5 hours. I taught 7.5 hours. With that pay comes to $21.27 per hour. Let's break down the Outschool hourly pay. With Outschool, remember, I taught 7 classes, 30 minutes each, so I taught a total of 3.5 hours. That pay divided by 3.5 hours comes to $33.60 per hour. So when you look at it like that, you can see that Outschool has a greater potential to bring in more per hour. And that's very interesting to me. So as I look back on the week and look at both companies, I have to think about the pros and cons of both companies, which every company that you work for is going to have pros and cons. And if you know of a company that has no cons, you better let me know, because I have never found one yet. But let's talk about VIPKid and its pros. For me, one pro of VIPKid is that I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for 3.5 years. I can basically roll out of bed in the morning, roll up to my computer, turn it on, and teach. Another pro of VIPKid is that it's one student that I'm teaching. It's me and a student. The student gets all of my attention, and all of my focus is on that one student. I'm not having to manage multiple kids in a Zoom meeting. It's VIPKid's dedicated platform. I'm familiar with the platform. The platform works for me. Another pro of VIPKid for me is that it's pretty predictable. Now, over the past few months with the whole coronavirus thing, the bookings have been a little weird and a little down. But overall, I know that what I open in a couple of weeks down the road for VIPKid is probably going to be filled. And so I can base my weekly budget, my monthly budget, whatever I need to, within a few dollars of what I'm going to make at VIPKid. It's a stable company. It's been stable for me the whole time that I've worked here, and for me, that's a pro. Now let's move on to the cons of VIPKid. Again, these are at least for me. And one of the big cons for VIPKid right now is just waking up early. We are getting closer and closer to summer, and it's been harder and harder for me to wake up early and be motivated to teach. Now, I will say that this current situation probably has a lot to do with it. My entire family is home. My entire family is here all the time. I'm having to do distance learning with my kindergartner. I'm having to manage a lot of things in the house right now, and that's different from my norm. And so I think that plays a big role into it, but right now the motivation with VIPKid from me is a little bit low. Another con that I see is really I don't see a whole lot of potential for making more money with VIPKid. I am at the pay that I'm going to make. I'm not going to get a raise. Based on the pay that I got when I started, I really don't fit the qualifications to ever get a raise because I don't teach enough classes. I don't teach enough peak times to get that raise. And I think that VIPKid also has some pay changes coming that might eventually get to me that are already being rolled out to newer teachers. And if those are rolled out to me, I stand to lose a little bit more money. So there really isn't that much potential for me to make more money at VIPKid unless I teach more classes. And in order to do that, I would have to wake up earlier, which I don't know that I'm willing to do, and I would have to teach weekends, which I do sometimes, but I don't enjoy. I want to be with my family. So to make more money with VIPKid, I definitely will have to teach more classes. Let's move on to Outschool. What are the pros that I see at Outschool? Now, I know that I am brand new, and so I'm still figuring this company out. So what I might say is a pro right now may not be a pro in the future. I don't know. So right now, a pro that I can see from Outschool is that you can make more per hour. I mean, it's very clear that I put more teaching effort, more teaching hours into VIPKid than I did into Outschool, yet I made more money per hour at Outschool. If I had had just a few more learners enrolled in my classes, or even if I had offered just one more class during the week, I would have made quite a bit more money because each one of my classes was getting pretty good money. So, that to me is a pro with Outschool. Will it always last? I don't know, but right now that looks pretty good with pretty good potential. Another pro with Outschool, for me again, is the ability to create my own lessons. When I was a brick and mortar teacher, I used to really enjoy putting a lesson together and finding all the parts that I needed to present it to the kids. And that's what I've been able to do for these Outschool lessons. I have had to write my own curriculum. And I find that pretty fun. And also, I can pick whatever I want. It doesn't have to be just for third graders, or just for second graders, or just for math. You can pick anything you want to teach. So I'm finding that the ideas are just flowing for classes that I could create. I just don't have enough hours in the day to create all the classes that I want to for Outschool. But it's fun to think that I can be creative and I can use those gifts and skills that I have when creating curriculum for my lessons. Another pro for Outschool is I can set my own schedule. I do not have to teach in those early morning times like I do for VIPKid. If I want to teach during the day, I can teach during the day. If I want to teach evening classes, I can schedule evening classes. You really do get to set your own schedule. You get to set your own price. So I really feel like I'm running a business. I feel like I'm setting myself up to be an online teaching business. Now, what about the cons of Outschool? One of the cons that I see that could be a con that hasn't yet so far for me, but could be, is having more than one kid in your class. So Outschool uses the Zoom platform. I have not scheduled any more than 8 learners, and I haven't had any more than 7. And even in that class that had 7, they were all really, really good kids, and they were attentive, and they were engaged, and I handled the mute button well, and we had a good class. I can see how it would be hard if you had a rowdy class, or if you didn't understand how to mute, and you didn't understand really how Zoom works yet. It could be a little bit tough to figure out and get started on that. Another con is that I'm still new at it. I'm still a newer teacher with very few reviews and not a lot of classes taught. So, parents are looking a lot of times for teachers that have been around, that know what they're doing and have good reviews. And so the bookings right now, or the enrollments is what they're called, can be a little unpredictable for me. So I have no idea how much money I'm going to make next week, next month, 3 months from now, because I don't know how the enrollments are going to come in. So I cannot make a budget on Outschool right now because I just have no idea. And even if I list a class and I want 10 learners and I'm going to charge $10 per learner, I'm not guaranteed that $100 because I don't know if all 10 will enroll. I don't know if any of them will enroll. So that's where it's kind of hard to figure that out right now. And maybe if I continue doing this and I continue with being consistent and offering classes, and then maybe at some point I will get to that point where it's more predictable. Finally, I think the biggest con for me for Outschool is that there has been a lot of upfront work. That could just be my personality, but I put a lot of time and effort into creating my lessons. And what I have found actually is that I probably put in too much time, because when I actually went in to teach the class, we didn't get to do half of the things on my list, because it really does. You really do have to see what kids you're going to get, what knowledge they already have about the subject, where they're struggling, and adjust from there. I went back and looked at my lesson plan, and I had crossed off a bunch of things because we just didn't need them or have time for them. So now looking into the future for my lesson creating, I think I can back off a little bit on the planning, but really I overplanned. Now, you're probably going to do that for Outschool. You're going to put in all your work up front. But now these lessons are ready to go, and I can list these lessons for the rest of my time on Outschool if I want to and keep teaching the same lesson, and there's no more work that has to be put into it. But definitely the upfront work, the upfront planning on Outschool is a lot. The bottom line is I'm still figuring it all out. I'm still deciding. I know what I get with VIPKid. I'm still happy with VIPKid. VIPKid is a great company and has always worked for me, and I will stick with it. Am I still interested in Outschool? Yes. I'm having a great time thinking of things to teach, coming up with new lessons. I can't wait to offer more classes. But VIPKid just has that simplicity and that familiarity that is good for me. Get what you get with VIPKid. If you have any questions about either one of these companies, or if I didn't say something that you wanted to know, drop me an email. It's teacherjulieonline@gmail.com. What experience do you have working with VIPKid or Outschool or both? I would love to hear how you're balancing both companies. If you have different pros and cons for either one of these companies, please share with me, because I'm still, like I said, figuring this Outschool stuff out. And it's fun, but I would love to hear from other teachers who are further along in their journey than I am. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. My next video coming out is going to be a video all about how to grab more enrollments from Outschool. I struggled with getting enrollments for one of my classes, and I made just a few simple changes, and all of a sudden overnight I got enrollments. So check back next week for that video. If you're a subscriber and you click that bell, you'll get to know when I upload that video. Finally, you can find me on social media, or you can check out my website, teacherjulieonline.com, for lots of great information. Thanks for watching today. Bye!